Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. In this video, we will remove the boilerplate code which we have written in the previous video to get the instance of shared AuthViewModel in the auth feature. So we are repeating this code multiple times in this file to get the instance of AuthViewModel for different screens. But again, we get the same instance, but we are calling this piece of code again and again. So how we can remove this boilerplate code and make a generic function. So this is what we will accomplish in this video. So let's proceed. You can find the initial code for the video from the video description below. Okay, so we start this process step by step. So first we understand that which variables we need in this piece of code to get the instance of AuthViewModel. So we need backstack entry, NavController, and the route of the parent route of this nested navigation graph. So here we create the extension function for this NavHostController. SharedViewModel, and this will return the instance of AuthViewModel. And in that we will cut this piece of code and paste it in here. And we are getting some errors. The first one is the we need backstack entry and NavController instance in it. So as this is an extension function of NavHostController, so we have direct access to the instance of NavController. And we for this backstack entry we provide this as a parameter. Okay, and now we are seeing these two errors because these both functions are composables, so we cannot call these functions from any other normal function. So we need to make this extension function a composable by using this composable annotation. Okay, so now we remove all the errors here. At the end, we are getting the instance of the AuthViewModel from this viewModel method, so we will directly return from here. Okay, so now we will use this method to get the instance of AuthViewModel. So viewModel, AuthViewModel, NavController.sharedViewModel, and pass the backstack entry in it. And we will copy this line of code and replace it for the other two places as well by pressing Alt Shift and select on multiple places and paste it in here. So now at this point we will run the app and verify that things are working without any errors. So in the logcat we will add the filter AuthViewModel. Okay, so our app is up and running, and when user land on login screen, and we are seeing in the logs that AuthViewModel instance have been created. So if we navigate to the other screens of the auth feature, forget password or sign up, then we are not seeing any extra log of this init in the logcat, which means we are getting the same instance on different screens of the auth feature. So no error here. So now we will do the same thing for the home feature. So in home feature, to get the instance of shared HomeViewModel, we are writing this code of log. So we will use that function extension function here to get the instance. NavController.sharedViewModel and pass the backstack entry in it. And there we are seeing some error that in return we want HomeViewModel, but we are getting AuthViewModel instance. So we will modify this extension function, and in the return type we change to ViewModel, And another change we also need to make is here we have hard coded the value of the auth route. So we pass this as an argument, and this get backstack entry method take any type of argument. So we will pass this as a parameter route any, and in the home screens here we will pass the parent route of the home feature. Okay, and again we are getting the error because we are getting the instance of view model, so we will cast it to home view model, and we will go to auth schemes, and here we also need to do casting for the auth view model and pass the route or parent route of the auth feature. So we will copy this code of log and also replace it in here. Okay, so at this point there is something wrong with this piece of code, but we are not getting this information from the IDE, but during the compile time we will get the error information. So let's run the app and see what fixation this code requires. Okay, so our app is up and running, and after this splash screen, user will land on login screen, and we are getting the crash. And if we see the details of the crash, then here we are getting the exception that cannot create instance of class view model. So if we this error is coming from this method extension function. So if we study that what is this view model, then it's an abstract class, and we cannot create instance of abstract classes. So that's why we are getting this error. So what we need to do is we need to make this extension function a generic one, so that this should work for any of the view, for any type of view model. So to make it generic, we will introduce a generic parameter, generic type here, and also return this. But if we do this, then we are seeing some warning here that type argument is refined type view model was inferred. So what is meant by refined? So generally when this generic function will be compiled, then after compilation during runtime, compiler won't during runtime, and the type information will not be available to get the instance from the view model method. So what we need to do is we need to make it refined, so the type information should be retained at the runtime. So if we use refined keyword, then this will force us to make this function a inline function. So the inline functions are those functions that wherever they are called, let's say this SharedViewModel is called in at this place. So during compilation, this line of code will be replaced by this whole code of this function. So this is what inlines do, and at this point we are still seeing the warning. So we will specify that whatever generic type we will provide, this would be a subclass of this view model. So in that case, all the warnings have been gone, and this is perfect to use for any of the SharedViewModel, to get the instance of for any SharedViewModel. So now we do not need to do this casting anymore, and there are two ways that this casting is avoided. The first one is that we will tell the type with the variable, and we will call this SharedViewModel method. In that case, this generic type will be automatically inferred by the compiler, and if we do not use this one, then there are two ways. The first one is we do the casting in this way, or the second one is we provide the type information when we are calling this method through this less than and greater than symbol, and tell the type that this type of instance we want from this SharedViewModel. But we will continue with the this one because this is more readable. So we will remove this casting from here and go to the home screens and also remove this casting. So now at this point we will run the app and verify that this generic function is working as expected and we are getting the instance of HomeViewModel. So in the logcat, clear the logs, and in the filter section we will provide the HomeViewModel filtering key. Okay, so our app is up and running, and after splash we have landed on login screen, and when user tap on login, then navigate it to the home screen, post listing screen, which is the part of home feature, and tap on any post list item, then navigate it to the post details screen. So this is working as expected. So now we will also remove this part of code and replace it with this extension function. Okay, and now we will move this shared view model to a common place where we can refer it from different features. So for that we go to the core, and in here create a package extensions, and in here we create a file named as NavHostController and cut this code of log from here and paste it in here. Now we need to import this in the auth screens and same for the home screens. And here is some import error. We will remove this line of code from here. So in this way we have moved this extension function to a common place, and currently here we are using this on 2 places only, or in the auth screens we are using it on 3 screens. Where this refactoring will show a bigger difference is when the number of screens are being increased. So let's say in the settings module we have around 5-6 screens, and we are repeating this boilerplate code 6 times. So if we use the extension function here, then this will really make a big difference. So here we use the NavController SharedViewModel and pass an instance of backstack entry and setting routes, and we will use the same call for the other 5 places as well. So press Alt Shift from keyboard and select it. And after selecting, we will paste this line of code, and this will work as expected. So with this we have come to the end of this video. So I hope you find it valuable. If you have any query, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Bye.